Today's Expert Process Podcast. Do you know that it takes 10,000 hours to master any subject? Welcome to the Expert Process Podcast, where we cut the time to mastery in half with our seasoned pros. And now, from Atlanta, Georgia, broadcasting worldwide. Here's your resident expert, Durante Smith.
That's not my skill, right? That is not my thing. But what I do know is the best ones that I've worked with, they're able to be on one phone here, another phone here, a computer here, a tablet here, somebody in their ear here, somebody else waiting here. I'm looking like, okay, I'm just a director. Okay, take it over there, right?
Well, and that's right. That's exactly it. Like the line producer's job is supposed to take away all that miscellaneous stress so that the director, as a creative team, can focus on what's important.
That's right. Yeah.
Creative.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I love about this interview is that folks are getting a true behind the scenes look of, like everybody knows film, everybody knows, I don't say TV, but everybody knows film, like indie film. That's a big thing, right? But there's really, I don't want to say there's no such thing, but it's not known like that, like indie animation, right? So that is a true thing, but it's not really known. It's not put out there like that, right? So in the greater context of how people think. So is that a growing space? Is that
for sure? Yeah, I think as technology's evolved so much in the last decade, the last 15 years, it's so much easier to do animation.
Right.
So because of social media, it's easy to self-publish and get your stuff out there. So absolutely, I find that a lot of artists and directors nowadays are being discovered online through their own films, and it's definitely a huge space that it's.
Now, you say their own films, you mean like little shorts and stuff, films and stuff like that?
Yeah, doing short films or even doing online comics.
Yeah.
Sort of building a story world and a brand before they go out and pitch it, or sometimes they're even approached by studios who have maybe went to a film festival with their film. And so it's a great place to experiment. It's a great place to sort of hone your chops, whether you're a director or a writer, and to get work out there that's your own. Because there's one thing about, you can be building a portfolio when you're working at a studio. So say you get a job at Disney and you're a character designer there and you have that. But at that point, you are working under someone else's creative vision, right? Whether it's a director or an art director.
That's right.
So you're not really showcasing what you're capable of. You're showcasing how you can work within an established model, which is a big part of the job, and that's important. But by doing your own work and getting it out there, you're able to really show your creative breadth. And that, I think, serves you very well, especially if you want to one day create a show or direct or whatever.
Yeah. So here's the great thing I hear there, right? Because I get this all the time. I want to work for Disney. I want to work for Netflix. I want to work for, Cartoon Network. But the thing is, I have to help people understand, you have to develop your portfolio. You have to have work. You have to have, something that people can sink their teeth into, right? And what you said I think was so brilliant, that you can take advantage of the resources that are available to us now, such as TikTok, such as Instagram, such as especially YouTube, right? And kind of build that, not even kind of build your brand, right? Inexpensively, because if you're actually the creative, and this is the other thing I try to explain to people. So if you are an animator, you can you can actually create that, but you need to get with a writer, right? Well, if you're a writer, then and you have an animation, well, guess what? You need to get with someone that can direct it, that can actually run it, right? So you can put together your team and actually create something that's brilliant, that's short, and really actually launch your career, you guys together can launch. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Am I too far off?
No. I think that's one part of it, right? Like, I think that is a great way to go about, building your creative point of view. And if you're working on something that you hope to grow into a larger property, like a show or a film, that's awesome. I do think there's also still a lot of value in working at these big studios or even smaller studios, because the creativity and the creative point of view is only one part of it.
Okay.
You also need to be able to work within a team, work within a production structure. You need to understand all the moving parts. And that's that great experience that you get working for a Disney or a Netflix or a Cartoon Network. So they kind of go hand in hand. And I think the best thing for people just starting out in the industry is get that job so you can see how things are supposed to go, and keep working on your passion projects outside of that. And that's hard, because when you come home from staring at a computer screen all day, you just want to veg out, and it's hard to kind of work on your things. But yeah. I encourage people to really find that time.
Yes.
Because that is important in sort of building yourself up beyond just sort of your career.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. So Jan, the thing is, she is a consultant. She's a you do freelance, correct? Right. Okay. She freelances. She's a consultant. So you hear that she has the knowledge. You hear she has the experience. So if you are talking now to a potential client, right? And let's clarify, who is your client? Who's your ideal client? If you're speaking to them, you're speaking to them right now, what is it you want them to take away from this interview?
Right. So I think most of my clients tend to be companies, right? So it's companies that have overflow of work. They need help development. They need help putting together, or smaller production studios. They need help putting together projects. So for them, I can do that, right? And I'm fortunate that I know a lot of people in the kids business, and a lot of that comes from relationships. Aside from that, I do some work with creators who are just starting out. That's a different thing, right? Like, you're an independent creator. You're not hiring someone like me. You don't have that sort of funding to do that. So in those instances, if I find someone that I really think has some really great potential, and they have an idea that I'm really passionate about, then I'll partner with them as a producer. Those are few and far between, because, as you know, passion projects take up a lot of time, and there's only a payoff until it gets off the ground.
So to wrap, first off, let me say thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And the other thing I want to say is, guys, please check her out. Can we tell them where they can find you?
Yeah, find me on LinkedIn. That's the best
place. Find me on LinkedIn. Yeah. Guys, thank you, and we'll see you next time. We're out.